Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know we have short on time. Mr. Connor, are you familiar with the company DigiNotar, or what used to be the company DigiNotar?
Very much so.
Yeah, and signatures and attribution is very, very difficult. Although I think we're getting better, it's pretty difficult. Can you briefly, I think it would be good for the committee to hear the story of DigiNotar and
Great question.
how a viable company went away in about a month after being hacked, and what it does quickly, and what happened, and why this is important as we move forward.
Yeah, so if you look at the internet when it was created, the little yellow lock, everyone sees the little yellow lock on their browser and on their PC, and they think they're safe. Very few people know what that little yellow lock means. And what it's supposed to mean is the communication path is secure between you and the website that you're communicating with and who's on each end of that. The problem is, in the SSL world, which is kind of the security level of that, the identity on each side of that may or may not be who it is reported to be. We co-chaired, along with VeriSign, a new standard on that called extended validation, because if you go to your Super Bowl, even this past week, you will see people advertising, hosting, and selling that little yellow lock for $19 for your business website. Only problem is the verification of who on the end of that is pretty lax. They just look at the server and go, oh, well, that must be you. So the issue was this one company that provides the little yellow lock, in this case predominantly in the Netherlands, was breached, and they were breached from Iran, just like many other security vendors have been breached. We get a target every day from country states, our little 350-person company with no help to the U.S. government, thank you very much, to defend that. Well, this little company got attacked, just like Komodo did, just like others did, and they breached that little yellow lock that said who they were, and they began to take down the government security because that government used the little yellow lock for all its online capabilities. And the people in Iran, guess what, used that little yellow lock to say they were Google and other people. So anyone in Iran that was Googling content in that country was able to give up to the Iranian government whatever they were looking at, whatever they were doing. And one government was basically shut down for at least 60 days. And unfortunately, to those of us in the security world, we found out about it through the browser forum, and actually Entrust was a partner to that group, and it ended our relationship with them prior to that, and even we weren't notified. So that talks about, to your question of the legal framework of what's going on here and the disclosure requirements and what's happening beneath the world. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just think that was a great example of a nation state using its intelligence services to co-opt something like that. And by the way, DigiNotar is no longer a company. So if you want to
it's out of business.
You want to talk about the cost, there is a hack that took this company and is now out of business. So,
well, be careful, be careful. It was a subsidiary of a public business that still exists that acts like it didn't happen.
But the contracts that it has in the Netherlands no longer exist.
No, that's correct.
Okay.
That's exactly correct.
It's an American company that actually owned it.
That's right. And
DigiNotar isn't established and is no longer.
And I think the point that you're on, Congressman, is an important one. There are ways of we've been attempted to be hacked by this same group. We've watched them try that over the last 12 months. Two of the people that own the yellow locks in the U.S. and abroad have been taken down relative to Iran being able to break in and impersonate those pieces. So it's happening every day.
So you can see how I thought it was important for the committee to hear that particular case because it shows how sophisticated and how dangerous it can be if somebody has a nefarious purpose other than criminal. Criminal's bad enough. This was other than criminal. And I see my time is almost up, so I'm going to ask two questions and close up. Mr. Lewis, I'd like you to talk about, we've been through this a long time. It's been very difficult to get to a place where we have a very narrow focus on how to move to the next step. Just talk about the challenges of why we think it's been difficult to even get a very narrow change in the law. And lastly, Dr. Schneck and maybe Mr. Dix can talk about this. You talked about hardware. There is much concern about hardware entering our system that may be malicious and very difficult for us to Well, to understand exactly what that hardware is doing in our systems, and I'm hoping you can talk about that and what we might be able to do from a regulatory and or cautionary position on the behalf of the United States government to make sure that those type of hardware systems don't enter our system, and some of our hardware systems are not exposed when they leave this country to manipulation by foreign nation states. And I'll leave it at that. Those are two questions I hope you can ask, and if the chairman's kind enough to let you answer them would be great.
Thank you, because those are hard questions. They're great questions, but I'm glad Phyllis got one of them. So, the neutral answer is to say when you look at a new technology, it usually takes the U.S. somewhere between 20 and 50 years to figure out how to get it in order. So if you look at airplanes, steamboats, railroads, electricities, cars, we're in year 18 for the Internet. So we're not doing too bad, I guess. I mean, we have a couple years to sort this out. A little more pointed answer, we have so many old ideas. They have not gone away. If it was in PDD 63, which was the Clinton administration policy, and we're still trying it, it doesn't work. Give it up, right? And the second thing is, as you've heard, we've had old laws that are real obstacles. You, of course, are trying to fix this, but if it's the Electronic Communications Privacy Act designed for dial telephones, you have serious issues here. You have business issues, you have privacy issues, so it's a hard problem, and it will take time to work out. But the prevalence of the old thinking and the difficult legal environment we have has really slowed us down and put us at risk.
Mr. Dix or Dr. Schneck?
First of all, I'd like the record to reflect that Mr. Lewis and I agree on that last. Thank you. So first of all, let me just touch on the hardware issue, because the whole supply chain risk management issue, it's interesting to me, the last count, there's 155 different supply chain risk management initiatives in the government today. We need to coordinate those issues, and quite frankly, organizations like ours, we invest heavily in what we call our brand integrity program, because our reputation is how we grow our business. So we invest from concept to delivery in our products, in our hardware and software products. To make this short, one of the things that I think that this body could help with, as we sit here today and we deal with this supply chain risk management problem, the federal government still continues to buy from untrusted sources. There's a culture across the government of cost and schedule, across the departments and agencies, where in order to save 5 cents on a widget, we're buying from low cost, low bid. As a result of that, we end up in the gray market, and then we wonder why we have counterfeit or malicious products in our government's supply chain. We should be buying from trusted sources. If there's some reason why we are not going to buy from trusted sources, there should be a justification. It should be public, and the liability from that should accrue to whoever the acquirer is.
Dr. Schneck, can you just comment on that as well?
I do agree with them. I'd also add that we look at supply chain, again, as an issue of your product integrity. We do rigorous testing, both in manufacturing and in acquisition of any product. And we would also believe in leveraging some of the existing standards to really focus on a product integrity issue, because what you want to know is, did that widget that you bought, is it exactly what you think you bought? That's the heart of the issue. So it's rigorous testing and then expanding some of the existing standards.
So just want to make sure, clarify for the record, Mr. Chairman. So we are at risk if we integrate into the U.S. system non-trusted sources of product. I want to make sure I'm clear on that.
I certainly think it increases the risk.
Thank you.
I used to do this supply chain stuff when I was in the government, sort of on both sides of the table, and a couple points on that. First, right now, it's not that worth it. It's so easy to hack, that you have to assume that our Chinese and Russian friends are taking the low-cost approach to espionage. Why should they not do it? The second one is it's very hard to push this out to a global supply chain. We're not going to be able to get out of that. So this is an exceptionally difficult issue that will probably force us to think about how we're going to work with foreign suppliers.
Correct.
Right? And there's not really a choice here. So what I do think will happen, I'll just say this real quick.
Yeah.
Right now, hacking is so easy. Why bother? If we ever manage to improve our defenses, they'll switch to supply chain.
All right.